example, a person who's running the, so let's say Modi is basically the Prime Minister of India, but is it possible for him to actually recognize what is happening at a very small village in India, at one corner of India? No, it is not. So in order to ensure that effective governance happens at all the places in India, India has been divided into different states, then we have different regions, then we have different districts, village talukas and all that stuff, so that the governance is appropriate, so that nobody is feeling neglected. Now enough powers were given to the state government was given enough powers to run the respective states smoothly without interference from the center, okay, without interference from the center. So without much interference from the center, okay. So what it means here is that the state government was not considered as subordinate to the central government, okay. The state government was not considered as subordinate to the central government. What do we mean by subordinate? That somebody who is reporting, okay. So if you are my boss, I will be your subordinate. So that's not how the entire thing was managed. There was a central government to take care of the entire country, and there was a state government which was appointed to acknowledge and the problems of the state or the regions, and accordingly provide solutions and manage the entire state, okay. So this was what happened. So enough powers were given. State government was not recognized as a subordinate to the central government, okay. What do we have? Brussels, okay. As you have, when I was making the rough map of Belgium, I showed you that Brussels is basically the capital of Belgium, and the population or the ethnic dimensions of Belgium or Brussels was quite contrary to the ethnic dimensions of the entire country, okay. So Brussels, which was the capital city, showed approximately the reverse communities in majority and minority as we had in the entire. So in the entire country, Dutch was in majority and the French speaking population was in minority as compared to the Dutch. But in Brussels, the reverse happened. The reverse happened is that the majority community was basically the French speaking community, almost 80%, and the minority community, that is 20%, were the Dutch speaking community. So what happened in Brussels was, Brussels basically had a separate government, okay. Brussels had a separate government. Brussels had a separate government and separate power and separate powers were given to manage law, education, etc. Okay, to manage law, education, culture, etc. So Brussels had a separate government altogether, just as we have in New Delhi. Okay, so Brussels had a separate government together, separate powers were given to manage, because in this the majority community was the French speaking community and the minority community was the Dutch speaking community. So they were given separate powers to run the show, right? So this ensured that the communities are not getting challenged. Okay, there was a third kind of government. Okay, now this is very important. Third kind of government, and this is known as community government. There was a third kind of government, and this is known as the community government. Okay, this community government was formed, and the government, so this was formed. Now what was the function of this community government? The community government has the this had basically powers regarding, this basically had powers regarding cultural, educational and language policies. Okay, language policies. So this basically catered to the cultural, educational and language policies of the entire nation. So there was a third kind of government, that is community government, and this community government was very careful in framing the policies, because it knew that whatever policies it forms or frames is going to impact both the communities. So there was no imposition of things that happened in Sri Lanka. For example, in Sri Lanka, the first step that they took was that they made Sinhala as their official language. So irrespective of whether you are a Tamilian or a Christian or a Buddhist or maybe a Muslim, you have to basically correspond in Sinhala. Okay, that's the only language that you have to correspond. So here no languages were imposed, no language was declared as the national language. Okay, so there was a community government which specially catered to the needs, the cultural needs, the educational needs and the language policies of the different communities. Okay, they saw to it that these by any policy of the government, these should not be impacted, these should be placed above the rest. No community should be impacted with its culture, no community should be impacted with the education that is getting imparted, and no community should be hampered with the language that it is using amongst themselves. All right. Okay. Brussels. Okay, Brussels was chosen as the headquarters of European Union. Things were managed so well in Brussels, that it finally got its recognition and it was chosen as the headquarters of the European Union. The entire European map that you see, they have a union for that, and Brussels was chosen as the headquarters for the entire European Union. Okay. So because Brussels by that time had become a role model for the political stability, structure and the dynamics, the entire political dynamics of the European nations. All right. So that's how it got rewarded. So what happened? So primarily what the Belgium as a role model gives us is they didn't let the diversity become a problem. Okay. So Belgium, its leaders and people, didn't let diversity become a problem. And in fact what they did was they optimized the diversity, for development in all levels, cultural, educational and of course economical. So they optimize the diversity. There is something to learn from each and every community, from each and every individual. If we incorporate all those learnings, we will have an immense amount of knowledge. If we disregard a community, we are disregarding a particular sect of people. They are also alive, they are also doing something for their living, they also have a lifestyle, and there are certain things in their lifestyle, their earning capacities, their economy, their preferences which might benefit us, and that's very important. Okay, so recognizing an individual is of utmost importance, and obviously if you recognize an individual, you recognize an entire community. When you recognize an entire community, there are tens and thousands of things which you can take from that community to benefit your own life. Okay, from others' lives we can learn a lot, how to benefit or how to incorporate those things in our own lives. Okay, so both in terms of occupation, economy, lifestyle, feeding habits, anything, that could be anything. You see, due to feeding habits, people become different in their shapes and sizes. All right. So if I am, let's say, a person who is very fat or who is having a very obese lifestyle, I can incorporate it from my neighbor. I can see that he is jogging every day, he is taking a balanced diet, and he is not taking things which are harmful to the health. So if I kind of incorporate those things in my life, obviously my life will also fall in place. So this is how we can borrow things, and this is how we can develop a country, and this is exactly what Belgium did. So Belgium considered its diversity as an opportunity. Sri Lanka considered its diversity as an obstacle. Okay, Sri Lanka considered its diversity of the languages as an obstacle, and hence the problem started, and the problem became a huge problem in due course of time, resulting in a huge bloodshed, wars, people losing their lives, families getting barren and whatnot. Okay, but in Belgium they had a very sensible approach. The leaders had a sensible approach, the political parties had a sensible approach, their people had a very sensible approach. They knew that this diversity is going to help us in the development of the country itself. If we recognize this diversity, the country will develop, because diversity basically incorporates the different things that different communities are adopting to live their lives. Alright, so that's how they regarded it as an opportunity rather than an obstacle. The things that were regarded by Sri Lanka as an obstacle were regarded by Belgium as an opportunity. So they were optimistic about it, and they regarded it as an opportunity for development. They regarded it as an opportunity for development. So you can see that in the two countries, just because people had a different viewpoint and political leaders had a different viewpoint, things went a little haywire. Alright, so you can make a note of this. We will come back with more on this same topic, more diversified, a little more questions, so to clarify your thought process on this one, and hopefully that will have a good hold of your knowledge on this chapter. An important chapter, an interesting one as well. See, they have not made this chapter boring. Had they just given us these things in terms of points, it would have become very boring, but they have made it interesting by doing a case study. A case study basically is engaging to everyone. How are things different? See, whenever if you learn science or even any of the chapters, you will notice that whenever you notice things in a difference, okay, so let's say advantages or disadvantages or this thing and that thing, when you study it in difference, you study it sooner and you understand the concepts better as well. That's the purpose of this case study, to make you understand the concepts better. All right, so hopefully this helps, and I will come back with more. Please ensure that you like and subscribe this channel, of course, in order to ensure that more and more people are getting the knowledge that is available in this platform. That's the purpose. Second thing is, please put in your comments if something needs to be clarified from my end, if something more needs to be added, if something was missed by you, or if something was not properly explained and covered. All right, so please do ensure. Let's make it a cooperation between you and me, so that we can benefit a lot more students, especially in the times of these pandemic times of COVID. We should reach out to students as much as possible to ensure that everybody is getting the benefit of learning, since most of the schools and colleges are closed and it's quite uncertain as to when they are going to open. We should help, or rather we should help each other in as many ways as possible. Let the knowledge spread, let this word spread, and let us all benefit and mutually understand and move ahead in life. All right, so wishing you all the best. Please do follow my instructions, and let me know if something more needs to be enlightened on this chapter. All right, thank you so much for your time today.